nation. Sometimes we might have to go outside the shores of our country, but most of the time we'll focus on what is happening within our polity in Nigeria. I'll be back shortly. Don't go away. Top of our agenda this morning is the imbroglio between Dangote refineries and some staffs that the organization has laid off, and the members and leaders of the Pengasan, the trade union of petroleum and gas workers in Nigeria. In the last 1 week, there has been a back and forth between the two organizations, the trade union and the Dangote refineries. Pengasan, at a point, asked staffs of Dangote to join the union, and they did so. The next day, about 90% of the staffs were asked to leave. Pengasan is accusing Dangote of being anti-labor, while Dangote refinery is saying that they did not sack the workers because of the fact that they joined Pengasan, but because many of them participated in sabotaging the efforts of the company. With me this morning is our in-house analyst and a journalist too, Mr. Aki Adebayo. Good morning.
Good morning, listeners back home.
Well, let's get started right away. Looking at the old drama between Pengasan and Dangote, what do we make of it, especially when it has serious impact on our nation? As we speak now, the price of premium motor spirits has skyrocketed again, and we are trying to stabilize. We are a country that is petrol dependent, and we are just trying to stabilize. What do you make of the entire drama that is happening now?
Thank you very much, Mr. ALABA, for having me with you in the studio this morning. Yeah, I think before we go into the implication or the drama that is unfolding between Dangote and the various unions, particularly when it borders down on petroleum and petroleum products, I think having a brief history of what has happened in the past will really be a kind of guide to what we are going to discuss in the course of responding to the question you've just asked. Now, like we all know, the issue of unionism didn't just start today. If I'm not mistaken, how did we even arrive at the issue of subsidies before now? What led to it? It is as a result of the activities of these unions. Fine, as at then, most of us thought, they are championing the cause of the Nigerian populace. And to a large extent, that is what union should be known for. We have various unions championing the causes of their members. But unfortunately, it's like the reverse is now becoming the case, as we are experiencing now in the Nigerian context. Now, if I'm not mistaken, during the military era, Pengasin and Nupeng in particular, led by Franco Kori, did a yeoman job then in the military era. Shutting down the old petroleum production system. But that was what actually led to the declaration by the then head of state, the person of General Abacha, that then they are suspended, they are dissolved, and stuff like that. And this was how the issue of importing fuel, or should I say petroleum products, started. Though it has been happening exponentially before, but I think it was more pronounced during that era when the old system was shut down. And God helping us, it is not always easy, particularly if people are beginning to make more than what they actually expected from a particular way of doing business. I mean, importation, something that you are producing before locally, all of a sudden you started importing it. There is no how other people will not predate on it. And by the time independent marketers begin to like import all these products, they are being, subsidized, either genuine or counterfeit. We all knew what happened during the subsidy era. But one thing led to the issue of that subsidy is as a result of the activities of these various unions. But now it eventually became counterproductive. Counterproductive in the sense that it got to a stage in this country that virtually the entire budget for the year went into subsidy. Salary couldn't be paid, nothing was actually moving. I've always postulated that you don't subsidize imported goods. Like in other countries, like people will say in Sinach lines. Of course, there are subsidies, probably on education, on agriculture, on, some other things. But these are locally, produced things. These are locally sourced for services. Not you importing something that you don't know the quantity that was imported, and you're not paying for the subsidy. That was what led to it. But like we said, the issue of this union for a very long time has been, the major problem of, petroleum supply in the country. Now, back to the question you've asked, particularly between Dangote and Pengasin on the Pengadi case may be. It was as a result of these various strikes that for years, NNPC was not even producing anything. And SARS are there, being paid in millions of naira. Even some, according to what we had, some are being paid in dollars. I begin to ask myself, people that are not doing anything, how come they are being paid? But anyway, that's the Nigerian system for you. But as God will have it, somebody now came up with his own private refinery in person of Dangote. Of course, before Dangote came up with refineries, he has other businesses. Is it the Dangote, cement? Is it Dangote flour? Is it Dangote sugar? Name it. Dangote, you should not deceive yourself. It's an household name. There is no house that you get to in Nigeria that you won't find Dangote product there in one way or the other. Now, this man now put up a refinery. If I'm not mistaken, the largest in the world. Am I correct? One of the largest in the world. Now, the union now came around again saying that's okay, that East members should join the union. Like I've always said, the constitution actually made it expressly clear that you joining any association or union is a free will. It's not compulsory for you to be a member of any association or a member of any union. But in Nigeria, it's becoming something that is not compulsory. The very minute you are doing a particular business, some of the people that have formed those unions will come and meet you. To the extent that you now even have unions of Alata, unions of Onila, something that which simply means that you cannot plant ata, that is pepper, and okra at your backyard. You harvest it, take it to the farm, and sell it. No, these people will come and meet you. It is as bad as that. But some people actually, in fact, union like we used to know, they champion the interests of their members. Look at the Aba Women Riot for instance. It was led by the Aba Women Market as we went to the issue of tax. And look at what happened again here in Abeokuta, led by Rasom Kuti. Those were the good days of this union. That we are actually, with sincerity, with good intent and purposes, champion the cause of their members.
Mr. Kianibayo, let me first of all inform our listeners that Dangote refinery is not the only privately owned refinery in Nigeria. There are modular refineries that are small in size. For the benefit of this discussion, before I ask my next question, that's why I want to say this. That not as big. We call them modular refineries, not because they don't refine petrol, but because they refine in smaller quantity.
Yeah.
The Nigerian government has so far licensed about 25 modular refineries, and some are actually, there are those ones that are also operating illegally, but at least there are 25 licensed modular refineries in Nigeria. We have the Watersmith refinery that is located in Imo State, and it started operation in the year 2020. Then another one is OPAC refinery that refines about 10,000 barrels per day, and it is located in Kwale in Delta State. Then Edo Refinery and Petrochemical Company, a wholly owned subsidiary of AIPCC Energy in Edo State. Then Dupont Midstream Refinery that refines about 2,500 barrels per day is also in Edo State. It was completed in the year 2022 and began operation in 2023. Then the Niger Delta Petroleum Refinery, Aradel, a 3-train 11,000 barrels per day refinery, and there are those ones that are under construction. The Bua Refinery, which is currently being built in Akwa Ibom State, is not a modular refinery, it's a large one.
The large one.
NDPR Refinery, that is also being done in River State. Then Watersmith Refinery is also receiving expansion. We mentioned it the other time. AIPCC Refinery and that refinery project in Edo State. Those are the refineries. But before I am mentioning this because we already have smaller refineries operating in small quantities, and we are still going to have bigger ones, so that we would have a clear-cut picture of what is going to be obtainable. Is it a crime for staff of privately owned companies to join mainstream unions like the NLC, like the TUC, like profession-specific unions? Because I once worked in an organization where the proprietor of the place gave us a rule book and selected which union we can join and which one we could not join as members of staff of that organization. So is it illegal for me as a staff of a privately owned firm to desire to join a mainstream union?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. It is not illegal, but of course there are rules of engagement to every employment being provided. Number one, you might choose that, okay, my own staff, this is the union I wanted to join. So far, I still pay your salary, and I have my reasons for saying you should join a particular union. It is not illegal, but you must equally, work within the confines of the rules of engagement spelled out by your employee. It's very, very important you equally put that into consideration, because, like we rightly said, these unions, they've wreaked more havoc than good. In my own opinion, they've wreaked more havoc than good. So they say that even members at times they may not even come to what is going, like some things are beginning to come out now regarding what is that is going on. As you now begin to even see that most of the hike you are experiencing is as a result of the, should I say, the extra charges leveled on this probably tanker drivers and what have been the cost of loading their tanks with petroleum products, and the money goes, ferried to some of these unions. These are the things. So what I say in a nutshell is this: it's not illegal for someone to join any union, but it's not compulsory. You must equally understand that it's not compulsory you join union. If I'm not mistaken, late Chief Ganfawehimi, he was not a member of NBA before he was now being, the problem started and what have you. The case was tried to court. He won the case really. So after he won the case, that is not compulsory to be a member of NBA. That was when he now eventually joined NBA, because he was the one publishing Nigeria Weekly Law Report then. And as a lawyer, if you don't have Nigeria Weekly Law Report, it's like you are just joking. Because this is a publication that updates you of the judgment of cases that has just been concluded. So, but Gani Fahimi first of all established the fact that it's not compulsory for him to be a member of NBA, but eventually he became the member, because for him to have a good sales of a publication, he must be a member of NBA. So he was a member and supported NBA, was a member of NBA even till death. But one thing is this, like I said, it's not compulsory for you to join any union, but you can, out of your own voluntary wish, join union. But of course, even at that, so far you are being employed. Take for instance now, if for instance you are being employed in a particular firm, establishment, organization, they will tell you, you give you a rules of engagement. If you cannot read and understand, they will tell you, take it home. Let somebody read it and you understand. They will tell you terms and even when it comes to the issue of maybe this bonanza bonuses or what have you from maybe many of these servers. They will tell you terms and conditions apply. They won't say it when they are doing the advert. It is not left for you to go and look at those terms and conditions that are applied. The very minute you assent to it, then it means that you've agreed to the terms and conditions applied.
In legal terms, is the terms and conditions given to me by my employee of greater value than my fundamental rights?
Well, you see, one thing is when I'm talking about fundamental rights, that your so-called fundamental right stops at a particular junction when it begins to be counterproductive to, when it begins to affect other persons negatively. Do you understand? Of course, it is a fundamental right to join any association, like I said, but it's not compulsory. But in as much as you are ready to work in a particular establishment and there are rules and regulations guiding the conduct of the staff of the establishment, then that your fundamental right is put at bay. If you want to see all those your fundamental right, then don't go there to apply. It's as simple as that. You must have been told all these things before so you cannot begin to prove FHR, fundamental human rights, when you've already picked up an employment letter. So you must be very much aware of what is inherent in that your employment letter. So your fundamental human rights stops at the point of you agreeing to be a staff of that establishment. So to me, I don't think Dangote has done, and in fact, it's having even a larger picture because it's going to have a ripple effect, not just on the staffs. It's going to take a terrible toll on the masses, and we know what we pass through when it comes to the issue of oil, when it comes to the issue of petroleum products, then put it that way in Nigeria. And I don't think Nigerians are ready. In fact, right, if Pengassin and Nupenga, to be sincere with themselves, they should have taken this battle to the front door of an NPC. I think that the direct employer of these people, why are they now having issues with an independent? Dangote is a businessman, and he wants to make money from his business. It's not $20 billion. It's not small money. As you now open his eyes and allow some unions to mess him up. No, that is not possible. And from reliable source, not even reliable source, is the public knowledge. He borrowed most of this money to actually put this in place, and he has to refund those money back. In fact, with interest. So we now allow union to disrupt his operation. That is practically impossible.
Listeners at home, if you are just joining us, this is iPower 102.7 FM. Moreile Owo, and the program is Political Perspectives, the program dedicated to analyzing, slicing, and dicing issues in our political atmosphere. And I'm still with Mr. Adebayo. When we return, we shall visit Oyo State, where several issues has emerged as a result of the events of the crowning of the 44th Olubadan of Ibadan land. Stay with us.
Purchase this beat at heavenboymusic.com.
Welcome back, listeners. Let's now visit Ibadan. Former governor of the state, Senator Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja, has become the Olubadan of Ibadan land. And the accession to the Ibadan throne is a little bit different from how others are sent to the throne in virtually every other community in Nigeria. It's a step-by-step journey, and only those who are gifted with the gift of long life can become the Olubadan. But a lot of observers have said that ever since we've been having an Olubadan, that this particular coronation was the most colorful, except certain things that emerged after. One of it is the musical artist, a popular Ibadan-based Fuji artist, popularly known as a Thai currency, who some people say accused of singing certain songs that they felt was not appropriate for that gathering. Some persons have argued that his supporters have argued that is a typical Ibadan person, that by the nature of the Ibadan person, that it is the militant habit is always there, and that those songs were his own songs that were popular with the people, that it might not be popular with the guests. That is the first one. The second one is the message on the ex-handle of the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, where he addressed the new Olubadan as his brother, my brother. And some persons have said that they have brought out a different tweet on his ex-handle long ago, where he addressed another royal father from his home state, that is the Obi of Onitsha. The Obi of Onitsha as his father figure. So some persons have argued that we are all brothers. Some also argue that this gentleman is not Yoruba, that he does not understand the differences in our courtship. Then some persons have said it is even because he's not Yoruba, that is why he addressed our own royal father that way. But let's start from Thai currency.
Yeah.
What kind of song do you think is appropriate for a gathering like that?
Thank you very much. The issue of by the kind of genre of song, militancy, everything doesn't hold water here. I'm not an Ibadan man, but at least I've listened to a very reasonable number of Ibadan artists. I mean, the most recent of them happens to be Saido Shukba. We all know the way Saido Shukba sings. Though when it comes to some of his lyrics, it might appear militancy, it might appear, controversial. But I'm sorry, I'm not trying to celebrate Saido Shukba here, no. But I know one thing for sure. If Saido Shukba had been the one that was invited, oh wow, he would have sang a song that would have bring out the culture of the Yorubas. He would have sang a song that would have actually established the Ibadan ruling house. He would have sang a song that at least an average Yoruba man would be happy that no, this is a Yoruba man singing. I've listened to many of his songs. Now, the father of them all happen to be Sikri and the barrister that sing wonderfully well. Have you ever heard any of his songs that sound militancy of a thing of it? So to me, that it doesn't hold water. That they're just trying to cover up for a man, which is quite understandable anyway. It's quite understandable. No matter what is their person, so they just have to defend him. But I think the kind of song he sang in that coronation is not befitting. So we are talking about coronation here, not political gathering.
But don't you think that it is necessary that, well, Saheed Osupa had performed in several other coronation and big cultural events? Don't you think that it is the most appropriate thing to do to also allow somebody who is of lesser value to also have some platform to that we always talk about giving younger people a chance to shine too. Don't you think it is the appropriate thing that the organizers have done to have given such events to him? Let us understand the fact that Thai currency is not also a small boy. He's already above 50. He has a son in the House of Assembly and is an appointee of the current governor in Oyo State. But I'm simply saying that in terms of clout, in terms of star recognition, Osupa is bigger. That it was the appropriate thing for the organizers to have given Tai that opportunity to shine. Having known that Osupa has paid his dues and has basically seen it all.
Well, I'm not saying that Thai currently should not be given the opportunity to showcase his talent. But where the organizer made a mistake is that they should have allowed the person of probably Saheed Osupa to lead. That would have given them, the kind of way on the kind of music expected in such organize, such events.
Now, popular Nigerian broadcaster and Ibadan song too,
Is that right?
Oriyomi Hamzat, argued that he is not against Taye performing, but it shouldn't have been Taye alone. That it should have been several other people. That it is not like as if he didn't do well at all. That it appears that he ran out of stuff because he had to perform for that performance was over 8 hours. That performance was for over 8 hours. That if there had been other persons there, that even if it comes to the worst, that they could have gotten the street drummer and shekere players to do 30 minutes here, 20 minutes there. What do you say about this idea? And what lessons should other organizers, really now that tourism is becoming and festival is becoming another way of generating attention for communities? We know what the Jebus have done with Ogidioba, and we have seen other communities too coming up with such things. What should that teach organizers? Or here, we just had the Igogo festival, and there are several festivals. The Akure people just had not long ago Ileputa festival. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Of course I do.
What lessons should organizers of traditional and cultural events take home from the entire drama?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, the organizers by now would have learned their lessons. They would have learned their lessons. That whenever you are organizing any event that has to do with tradition and culture, I think the person that should lead should be somebody that is well indebted, that has a vast knowledge of the tradition and culture of where that event is taking place. Like you just mentioned now, the Gogo Festival. Let's say you now go and allow, I just said Said Oshupa now, a very good example, what have you. But Said Oshupa cannot lead in an Igogo festival because he's not from that area. He had this one knowledge about the festival, so there is a limit to what he can sing concerning the Igogo festival. But by the time you allow an Owo musician to lead, no doubt he must have led. So from the way he or she is singing that song, Sai must have picked one or two things. So when he wants to sing his own song, for instance, he may not even know how to call it Igogo. He might say Igogo. You understand? But by the time he had listened to our person singing or musician singing, he would have learned one or two things. So it's okay.
Now, recently, the Deji of Akure celebrated 10th years on the throne, and issues came out. Although it didn't come out in the open, but several of us who are quite close to the community heard about it. That a lot of young talents within the Akure state were angry that the organizers of that event, some of them will be listening now, paid Said Oshupa about 10 million naira to perform. That at the event, that he didn't have enough time to sing for 30 minutes. Yet they paid him 10 million. That there are several Akure-born artists who would have sang for the whole day if given 1 million. And they were not given that platform. But the organizers of the event gave somebody from outside, although a star, that even if they are bringing the star should be allowed to at least let us enjoy our 10 million. We neither enjoyed the 10 million, that it was like a labor loss, that we didn't get the money, which would have helped some of us, and the man who got the money was not given chance to even showcase what he has got. Have you seen any video from that event, 30-minute stretch or 50-minute stretch of video of Oshupa singing at that event?
Thank you very much. I was even at the event myself. In fact, Oshupa was struggling to even sing. I was there. So I'm giving you first-hand information.
Okay.
He was struggling to sing. And what led to it is that there were so many events lined up. So there was no enough room for him to actually sing. And like the people have rightly observed, that nobody could actually enjoy the 10 million. And God help us, when it comes to this issue of organizers, it is a serious issue. That is where that you are having the event, the original owner of the event, that they are paying the event for, you must have an input. And everything should drop on your table. You must know what's actually going on. Not that they'll just be telling you, this is how we do it and what have you. You yourself, you must know what's actually, so far you can read and write. And if you can't write, ask somebody that, okay, Mokoton Shewon, you please help me to pontificate what should be done properly in there. By the time, like I said, I was there. There was so awards was given. Too many events. Even speeches were just too enormous. So Said could. He was struggling. I don't think he sang for 10 minutes. There is no video. There is no video clip you can see where he sang for 10 minutes. So what I'm saying in nutshell is that, like people have observed, let us when it borders down on culture and tradition, it's always good you allow the Aborigine indigenous to lead first when it comes to the issue of music. They will equally help the the external musician or the star that they are bringing to know what to sing about. Now, some people now, I must tell you this, some people see Deji as normal Deji or Oladeji. They do not see it as kind of, it's true. As in people that are not busy, but we, the Akure, we on those people, we know that, and particularly any traditional ruler in Nigeria, that we know that Deji is a true. But for an artist that has never even heard about, we will be thinking that Deji, we think that is the nominal, because he might have a friend that is wearing Deji. We might call him Deji instead of Deji. So what I'm saying in a nutshell is that it's always good when you allow the Aborigine indigenes to lead. They must be the one to lead. Oh, alejo only law now. It is the only leader that will lead you. So everything still boils down on the organizer. They should be smart enough to know that, okay, whenever we are having an event of this, that border down on culture and tradition, indigenous celebrities should be allowed to lead. It's just like now in our year now, you want to hold a jingle. If you don't do it in our land, particularly when it comes to burial and maybe some traditional titles, the people that can handle better are their people that can voice it in their language, native language. Even people in America, European countries, by the time they listen to it, they feel impressed. So the same thing is applicable to, okay, look at the Doju the Oba. Hardly will you see anybody coming there to interfere into their affairs. And either you like it or not, when it comes to Yoruba land, Doju Yoruba is one of the most leading culture. Traditional, tourism, whatever.
It is the biggest.
Well, I just said I should be modest, exactly. Do you understand? These are the things. So if everybody is not trying to take after the Ojude kind of cultural celebration, then we must learn it to the latter. To the letters. So these are the things. So that is that for that.
Now, let us go to the issue of congratulatory messages.
Thank you very much.
Have you seen the tweet from former Governor Peter Obi?
Well,
would you say that, in all honesty, that statement was rude?
It's a two-way thing. Number one, Peter Obi became governor of Anambra State year 2003, while Ladaja equally became governor
around the same time.
So we can say that, okay, they are brothers, at least they are colleagues. So irrespective of the age, they are colleagues. But since Ladaja has graduated to become the Oba, I think Peter Obi could have probably do it in two forms. Maybe my brother and equally a father figure. Because when it comes to the issue of age here, Ladoja is almost of the same age with the Obi of Onitsha. That Peter Obi refers to as the father figure. So if Peter Obi are probably, that you see there are ways we dance around the use of words or adjective, as the case may be. Do you understand? To a large extent, going by the time they were both sworn in as governors, it can call them brothers. But the very minute he now became the Oba, it shouldn't have referred to him again as a brother, or better still, a brother and a father figure. If he had garnished it around that area, I wouldn't have been all this what we're talking about here. That is one. Secondly, the Igbos, like we all know, that are residents here, of course, when it comes to them relating with you, particularly regarding their business, you see them calling you daddy, calling you mommy. They are very respectful. I must say, so we cannot see that culture. No matter the kind of culture you have, the very minute you find yourself in that cultural space, you just have to blend in and know how to go about it. As relating with their culture there. You cannot come and impose your own culture on them. No. They are the Aborigines. That is the second part. Now, on the third part, Peter Obi happens to be a former presidential candidate of a particular party. So, in fact, he needs to do a lot of work here, a lot of assignments. and not just in the Yoruba space, not just you call in the northern part. Okay, would they have called probably anybody that becomes a governor in the north, brother? He would have referred to him as, my lord, or whatever the case may be over there. So what I'm saying naturally is that for him to be nursing the ambition of presidency or what have you, or a former presidential candidate, then he should have been well acquainted with all these courtesies. Courtesy plays a pivotal role in establishing a relationship.
Thank you. Can I come in here? Many of we are in the media. Some of us have also practiced PR for a while, and we understand that most of the statements credited to governors and presidents and what have you, all our special persons, are not usually composed originally by them. In fact, as a matter of fact, many of the times they don't see these statements until they are put out by their media aides. They don't get to see these statements. And recently, I want to remind you that recently the press officer of the Alaafin of Oyo released a statement where he was telling he was issuing the Oni 48 hours ultimatum to withdraw something. What do you make of, what would your advice be for our leaders and people in leadership positions about hiring persons to speak and write on their behalf?
Thank you very much. Number one, it's no big deal. It's the norm for you to have spokesperson. It's not an aberration. But it becomes a serious problem, an aberration, if your spokesperson wants to go out there and put up a statement and you that is speaking on his behalf doesn't have an input. It's no excuse. That you want to start denouncing what the spokesperson has said is no excuse. So which means that so far you can read and write, and like I've said, even if you can't read and write, after you have written it, call somebody that is very close to you. Please help me to go through this thing. I was able to pontificate. Okay, this one should be there, this one should be removed, this one should be added. So to me, there's no how busy you think you are. The very minute you know that okay, this statement will go to the media space, will go into go to the public consumption, then it behoves on you as the leader to go through it. It's no excuse. Because that thing is being read out on your name. It's being read out on your behalf. It is assumed that you are the one that actually look. They are just trying to be modest, saying that probably no. It's no excuse. It's no excuse at all. So you should be able to go through it yourself. If you can't write, at least you can read. And if you can't read and write, look for someone else. Help me to go through this thing. Just don't let it be, you should not just allow your media person to just go out there and put up anything. You don't know his bias. You don't know the kind of relationship what has existed between him and the other person. You don't know. So these are the things. So regarding what you just asked now about the Alaafin and Alaafin, Olubadan, press officers. So what Peter Obi, it was a tweet. So it wasn't even written for him. It wasn't a press statement. It was what he tweeted by himself. So, but all the same,
we are not sure. I am speaking from my experience.
It's all right.
It was written in his name.
Okay.
But I am speaking from my experience as somebody who had handled such job before.
It's all right.
And I am saying that many of those things we see on their accounts. For example, the president says that he does not use the social media. But he has a social media handle. Statement gets put there all the time. It means that someone else usually writes those things. So I am saying that what would your advice be for men in power, men in position of authority, who have hired or intend to hire somebody to write for them about the kind of persons to write?
Thank you very much.
To hire.
It's very simple. Now, to hire, right? Number one, there's a limit to how you know the kind of person to hire emotionally, psychologically, and intellectually. You might know intellectual sagacity and whatever, but emotion, you never can tell about that. Maybe that person emotion, maybe is one that is having a strong emotional balancing or whatever. You never can tell. But even at that, you are hiring such person, that you are employing such person for your services, then that you are employing that person's services rather, you should still ensure that you go through whatsoever that person wants to put in the public space, in the public domain. You just don't allow things to just go there like that. It is written on your name. So that is, don't let us dwell much on that. That is
Yeah, listeners at home, you can join this conversation. You can make your contribution through this phone line 08165524699. That's our line 08165524699. You can join this ongoing conversation on iPower 102.7 FM, A Murele or War. You can join us. You can make your contributions, and you can also make corrections. But we would love that anyone who phones in sticks to the topic alone, the topic being discussed, the topic being analyzed this morning. In the news this morning, the wife of the president reportedly said that the 2023 election polarized her church. She's a member of the Unity Christian Church of God. That a lot of people became antagonized her because of the fact that her husband is contesting on the ticket of a party that carries a Muslim candidature. That but some of the elders also were sympathetic to her condition and empathetic to their cause generally. What do you make of the weaponization of religion in our politics?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Now you've said it all. Weaponization of religion in our politics. In fact, it has been one of the most potent tools. It has been very, very potent, and people are using it seriously. In fact, it's still better down here in the south. It's more pronounced and more terrible in the north. Weaponization of religion in politics. Now, back to what we are discussing. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this woman is just the wife to the president. The president that happens to be a Muslim. And if I must equally say this, the president has been a minority religiously in his own house. I have never seen such religious tolerance. And that is why I will continue to give to, the Yoruba ethnic groups. It is only in the Yoruba ethnic group, in one family, the same father, the same mother, that children will be, one will be a pastor, one will be an alpha, and the third one might be a traditionalist. And still, they will still all come down to their father's house during Christmas, celebrate Christmas together, without any argument, without any issue or what have you. So religious tolerance is, should I say, is one of the most pronounced things that the Yoruba ethnic groups is synonymous for. Hardly can you say Yoruba man fighting over religion? Is practically impossible. There's so much intertwined to that level. That is one. Now, secondly, we're talking about somebody that maybe is a wife to the president, a Muslim ticket. When it comes to the political arena, of course, it might have effect. But of course, in politics, it's about numbers. You go for the person that can give you the best numbers you need to win an election. If the president happens to be a Muslim, and it thinks that a fellow Muslim from the north really wants to give him the number expected to win an election, so be it. But before he became the president, if I'm not mistaken, this same Church of God has was presented a vice president, the person of Professor Oshibajo, equally a pastor in the same Redeemed Christian Church of God. Why didn't they have issues with it then? No, you see, the whole something we are just having now is just there towards 2027 the election. Didn't he win the election? In fact, didn't they vote for him then? Even despite the fact that it was a Muslim. And moreover, if not for the weaponization of religion, I think we should be more particular about the capacity of those that are contesting, about what they can give, what they can provide, about their policies, what they can implement that will better the loss of we Nigerians than allowing religion to take dominance. Before the introduction of religion, democracy, and others, is there no way we are living our life before? Through our traditions and culture and customs and norms? There are ways we be living our life before. But fine, now we now have democracy, we now have Western education, we now have religion again, because that is one of the things that actually infiltrated us, either as a Christian or as a Muslim. Do you understand? It actually infiltrated our own tradition, norms, and cultures. So we should not allow religion, like what our lecturer would say. So he said those two religions are borrowed religion. So like you said, it's correct because they are dated. When they all go to Nigeria, we have the dates. But our culture is as old as our own human existence. But religion has come now to erode, to drive away our tradition, culture, and norms. But so we should not allow religion to take. We should be particular about what this aspirant can offer. Enough of this weaponization of religion. But unfortunately, everybody has been so bastardized religiously to the extent that it will take another divine intervention for us to be purged of this religious sentiments. It has taken the dominant, a better part of us, and which is not helping us in any way. It's not helping us in any way. Ever since we present the two religion, how far has it helped us? When it comes to policy formation and its implementation, how far has it helped us? When it comes to developmental projects, how far has it been of help to us? So I think we should be more particular about the capacity of the person that wants to lead us. What has he done before? Let us look at the records. Can he replicate the same thing? We should look at that. And this is something that our politicians have always leveraged on. It cuts across board. I must say it, that religion weaponization cuts across board, both in the Christian and if I'm not mistaken, the only set of people that are not even giving us problems religiously are the traditional worshippers, and which happen to be the aboriginal religion of we Nigerians. So to a large extent, I think religion weaponization is a serious issue, and in fact, and a threat to our cohabitation. Let me tell you one thing: culture will not really give us problem, but when it comes to religion is one of the major things that have been giving us serious problems in this country. So that is my opinion about.
Thank you very much, listeners at home. Because of our time is fast spent today, and we have been getting feedbacks from some of our people. But if you still want to call us in the studio, this is the studio line 08165524699. 08165524699. We have been discussing 3 salient issues in our national polity today. Thank you very much for coming today.
Thank you very much.
What will be your parting shot to our listeners?
Well, my parting shot has always been that we should do the right thing. If not 100%, let us try to do the right thing 70% wise. If only we can just try to be doing the right thing 70%, I think it will be better for every one of us.
Let us all do the right thing. Let us all do what is right, what is legal, and what is legally upright, what is morally upright, and what is expedient. Thank you for joining us from Political Perspective today. Political Perspective returns next week, same time, same frequency. And we urge you to follow our station on all our social media handles. It's the same address on all social media handles. High Power 102.7 FM, High Power 102.7 FM, High Power 102.7 FM on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, and if there will be other platforms, we'll let you know. Thank you very much for joining us. Remember that a wise man once said, the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. Let us all remain vigilant as we go about our movement around in our country. Thank you. God bless Emirele. God bless our local government. God bless Ondo State. God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much. I remain ALABA, ADEYEMI. Till next time that I will come your way again with another edition of this program. Stay blessed. Peace.